one of the greatest temptations for men is to be passive in their leadership. From the first man, Adam, to every man alive today, being passive and abdicating responsibility is our ever-present temptation. While it is certainly true that not every sinful behavior or violent outburst in young people can be directly traced to an absent father figure, it is undeniable, however, that the opportunity for positive generational change is tremendously buoyed by the presence of strong male leadership within families.
From Living Word Church, you're listening to the Living the Word podcast, encouraging you to walk steadfastly in your Christian faith.
The Kansas City Chiefs won Super Bowl 58 on February 11th, 2024. This was their second straight Super Bowl win and third in 5 years. As is a tradition for Super Bowl champions, the Chiefs celebrated with their home city by having a victory parade. These parades have been known throughout the years as a time of celebration and a time when many families will take off of work and school to rejoice in their team's victory. This year's victory parade did not go as planned. Tragically, there was a shooting that left one woman dead and nearly 24 wounded. Many of the wounded were young children. 3 men are facing federal charges because of their part in the shooting. The men that were charged were young. In fact, there were teenage boys that were involved. There's no way around it. This is tragic on many levels. A young woman is dead, and 24 others were wounded and no doubt will be left with physical and emotional scars. About a month after this horrific event, Harrison Butker, the place kicker for the Kansas City Chiefs, was interviewed on EWTN News. He was asked a wide range of questions, from his thoughts about the Super Bowl win for the Chiefs and also about gun violence and his opinion about how to curb it in the aftermath of the shooting. Harrison made some very compelling comments that I think are worth us considering. In answering the question of what his thoughts were about the parade and the events that transpired, here is some of what Butker had to say. I had to do a lot of thinking about what took place at the parade. I know that gun violence was a big discussion, but at the end of the day, this is degenerative violence, and it should not be occurring. I think we need strong fathers in the home. We need men who are leading, men who are setting good examples, that are teaching the young men in our society that violence is not the way to handle our disputes. Harrison went on to say this provocative statement, quote, "I don't think guns are the issue. I think we need fathers in the home that are being great examples for our youth." What Harrison said here in response to the gun violence that unfolded in Kansas City is not a popular or politically correct thing to say. As we have seen the incidence of gun violence increase in our society over the last 2 to 3 decades, people have a wide range of thoughts about what the solution is to this surge of violence. These public tragedies are quickly reported by the news media, but rarely is the daily violence that is happening in the streets of our country's largest cities. I believe Harrison is right in his assessment. However, his assessment is not the only answer to the problem of gun violence, but it is a big factor. The reason people become violent and kill other people is because of the sins of anger, jealousy, and murder being found in the heart. Our world today is filled with people who are sinners. Actually, our world today is filled with only sinners. Every person born since the fall of Adam and Eve is born in sin, born with a sinful nature, or said another way, born with a propensity towards sinful actions. The heart of man is desperately wicked, as the prophet Jeremiah says. This is why we sin against our fellow image bearers. Unless someone submits to the sanctifying work of Jesus, they are left to themselves to restrain their sinful impulses. One generational impact that sin has had on societies all over the world is the problem of absentee fathers. This is nothing new. You can see, even in ancient Bible times, the devastating results that come when fathers are either absent from their responsibility with their children or are disengaged and not creating meaningful impact. In thinking about this particular story from Kansas City, when young men do not have the consistent impact of positive male role models in their lives, they will be shaped by whomever is the loudest voice in their ears. It is no secret that godly, strong, and present father figures have immense positive impact on young people. I believe the reason why the impact of godly men on the next generation is so great is because God designed it this way. This is why one of the greatest temptations for men is to be passive in their leadership. From the first man, Adam, to every man alive today, being passive and abdicating responsibility is our ever-present temptation. While it is certainly true that not every sinful behavior or violent outburst in young people can be directly traced to an absent father figure, it is undeniable, however, that the opportunity for positive generational change is tremendously buoyed by the presence of strong male leadership within families. This is why the church must focus on the discipleship of men. Mature, godly men make great citizens, workers, friends, husbands, and fathers. Spiritually mature men make healthy churches even healthier. When men within the family, church, and society resist the ancient temptation of passivity, we are all better for it. If you are a husband listening to this podcast, your wife needs godly, self-sacrificing leadership in her life. If you are a father listening right now, your children, no matter how young or old, need consistent, godly engagement with their dad. If you are a man listening today who is neither married nor raising kids, your leadership is needed as well. The community you live in, the church you attend, the friends you have will benefit from men who take responsibility for their actions and who lead by example in the pursuit of Christ.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode. If you would like to submit a potential question, a topic, or an idea for a future episode, or learn more about the Living the Word podcast, you can visit us at livingwordhoma.com. We would like to say thanks to all of you who subscribed, shared episodes, and left reviews. Living the Word podcast is a production of Living Word Church in Houma, Louisiana, under the leadership of Pastor Ben Buffkin. Our prayer is that you will remain faithful to living the Word.